I don't think I've seen you around here before, Mr. Buzzin'. Buzzin' Frog, born on the Eurolava Rivers in Rafala. A couple of husky jerks brought me up Slimy Slug, South Dakota, up there by Timberdoodle. The Zebra Brothers, Smithrick, and Salty Dog Shrimp. Oh, what am I thinking? I can't go fishing this afternoon. I have a important meeting in men's room. I'd forget my genitals if they weren't, super glued between my legs. Water skiing accident.
Oh, Leslie Nielsen. Do you know what movie that is, Curtle?
I know I've heard it. I just can't remember what it's from.
It's Wrongfully Accused.
Yes, it is, and wrongfully underrated in the Leslie Nielsen Hall of Fame, I think.
I need to go back and rewatch that because I haven't rewatched it in forever, and so that makes fun of what is it called? Fugitive,
Patriot Games,
and that right there was making fun of what's that? The Unusual Suspects, right?
Yeah, yeah. Does that Patriot Games, or is it Patriot Games or Sum of All Fears? It does one of. I think it's Sum of All Fears, and then no Patriot Games because of how it ends. Also,
Some of All Fears came out.
So
after.
yeah. Patriot Games, and then it does. Mission Impossible, and just the best of both, all 90s pop culture world.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fun to do like a ranking of all the Leslie Nielsen movies.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So here's the actual truth. 2.5, Naked Gun 2.5.
Facts.
Followed by Airplane, followed by Wrongfully Accused is number 3, then 33 1/3, then Naked Gun number 1. That is the order.
Oh, we're done.
What about Dracula Dead and Loving It and Spy Hard?
Okay, Dracula Dead and Loving It 6 and Spy Hard 7.
Scary Movie 3?
Ooh, you forgot Scary
sorry.
Movies.
Okay, all right. Sorry, we need to now push back Spy Hard and Dracula Dead and Loving It. It is Scary Movie 3, Scary Movie 4, then Dracula Dead and Loving It, then Spyfall, then weird reference, whatever, and then at the very end, Mr. Magoo.
Yeah, Mr. Magoo is not good.
Yeah.
I swear there's other ones we're forgetting, but for the sake of time,
Yeah.
I'm not going to look them up.
All right. Well, I am Brett. I don't have a fun. I will say the wrongfully accused of this podcast. To my right, the Dracula Dead and Loving It of the podcast, Timmy.
Hello.
Because he's all about placement.
All about placement.
It's all about placement.
I'll take it. That's fine.
All right. And I will say the Smell of Fear to my left, my brother.
Smell of Fear?
Yes. Naked Gun 2.5.
Oh, okay.
The Smell of Fear.
Oh, okay. I forget they have subtitles. I don't think I've known most of my life that they had subtitles. I just called him 2.5, and
Yeah.
that's it. That's how I differentiated them.
Or the far superior one, and then all the others.
Yeah, yes.
All right, merit badges. What do we got?
All right. So this was the weirdest situation that has played out over like a 2-week period. So this merit badge is called Anyang Did It.
Anyang.
So
That's from Arrested Development.
Uh-huh.
Wow, I got it. And I'm not an Arrested Development guy.
So in our 5th grade class, we have a student brand new to our school. He is a size compared to his classmates is a very large, tall kid. So the other day, and by the other day, I mean about 2 weeks ago, he decided to jump from the top of the slides all the way down to the ground, breaking his arm. Okay. So he gets home and he decides to tell his parents that this actually is incorrect. A large Asian kindergarten kid is the one that pushed him from the top of the slide. So I started doing my investigating in journalism of the whole thing. And so not only do we have witnesses of him willingly jumping from the top of the slide, but there is no large Asian.
So you're making that up at the beginning, huh? I was curious, do you guys have cameras in the playground area?
You know, the funny thing about that is there was an incident that the police came by our school the other day, and there was like, hey, we need the video shots from that. And they're like, what video? Like, we got video on the inside of the building, but not on the outside of the building.
Interesting. That's funny. Some big Asian kid pushed through me.
Well,
Too specific.
And now because it is now kind of like an inside joke amongst the faculty. Like everybody's just like, well, I placed this like thing here. Like, what happened to it? And somebody will be like, a large Asian kid stole it. Sorry, a large Asian kindergartner kid, because he was very specific.
Oh, he said kindergarten?
He said kindergarten.
And what grade was he in? Third?
Fifth.
Jeez.
Yeah. And it's just like, you know.
If you're going to blame somebody, don't blame a kindergartner.
Especially being that specific. It's just like, you know, I can just walk into the kindergarten and it's just like, nope, that kid does not exist.
Well, then also, isn't there like recess things where like kindergartners don't like mingle?
We don't overlap in ever since the COVID measures, they've decided to never have a recess overlap with anybody because there's just a whole lot less problems.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Anyang did it.
Anyang. So my merit badge this week, I decided, is not a merit badge. It is like, you know how you could get the Order of the Arrow?
Ooh.
So it's something that I imagine instead of being on your sash, it's on like on one of your breast pockets.
Uh-huh.
And it says, I am stupid. AKA Billing Bills, here's your sign. So I got a here's your sign moment, unfortunately.
Ooh.
So it was yesterday. And this is why I have a Band-Aid on my finger. My wife is hosting an event at our house, and like the AC hasn't been working really well recently. And she's like, "Can you go check the filter?" I'm like, "I just cleaned the filter because we have a reusable filter that we can just take out, spray it down, wash it off. And once it's dry, put it back." And so I took it out, and I'm like, "Yeah, it didn't change too much in the air circulation there." And I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking. I replay this back in my head so many times. The fan is going, like the vent is going.
Oh no.
And I was like, I'll just stick my hand in there now. And it just chewed up my pinky. And I'm like, I was so mad at myself and in so much pain. I was like, it like throbbed for like an hour or more. And it hurt so much. I was like, why in the world, looking back, did I do that? What was possessing me? Like, yes, it looks like a big black hole because I didn't have a lot of light in the room. But you know that little drum that spins around and it creates like a vortex or whatever that essentially is pushing along the air. And I put my hand right in there and and my finger's pretty chopped up. And I was happy that it wasn't as bad as I was like, am I going to have to go to the hospital? I don't want to go to the hospital or something this stupid. I'll just be so devastated if I had to do that. But nope, all is well. But I get my I'm stupid sign.
I know what it should be because I don't know if they did it a lot but when I was in Boy Scouts, they constantly had like these Boy Scout Jamboree badges.
Oh, yes.
Which would take up the entire, and I went to one of those and they're like, here you go. You can like put this on your pocket. And I was just like, or I couldn't. So I think it should be the Here's Your Sign Jamboree.
There you go. I like that.
It goes on the back.
Yeah, one of those things back in like Cub Scouts. I was looking at my outfit the other day.
Oh, not the lanyard, the neckerchief, right?
No,
Oh.
I'm talking about the like when you went and visited all the different places.
Oh,
you get a little patch for like
yes.
Camp Nowhere.
Uh-huh.
Put on your back.
Camp Anawana.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, well, I didn't really earn a merit badge this week. Instead, I earned a pin,
Ooh.
another
Ooh.
pin. And I didn't really have a good name for it, so I'm calling it 10 Years Standing Tall Pin. And unfortunately, I had to throw away a pair of Crocs that I had for 10 years.
Oh wow, were those? They were like a yellow one.
They were blue and kind of orange, like almost like scaly, like alligator skin.
Okay, yeah.
I finally had to throw them away because I was out on a date with my wife, and I was wearing them, and we were walking, and I felt like I stepped in a little bit of a wet spot, thinking nothing of it, like just a small little puddle. But then I felt like my bottom of my foot on the inside of the Croc was wet. I'm like, what? And so I took it off, and sure enough, there was a hole straight through.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, there's no saving this.
R.I.P.
So got home, took them off, into the trash.
And did you immediately go buy some new ones?
Not yet. I'm shopping around. I don't want to just get like a plain pair. I want to get something that's a little different.
This says it's Criddle.
Because right now, like for work, I wear two different kinds. I wear ones that have bananas on it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I wear another pair that has like a blue lightning on it.
Okay.
So I'm looking for something different.
So just out of curiosity, I have to say this. There's like a brain itch. So the bananas, are they in pairs?
Multiple pairs.
Do they come down the stairs? Are they in pajamas by chance?
That would be funny.
I knew you were going this before you even started, Brett. That song. I don't think we watched a single episode, but that
Nope.
commercial
That
was.
commercial, yeah. Bananas
And then when
in pajamas.
you didn't always know what show was on next for some reason as a kid, and so you had to wait it out, and then it was like bananas in pajamas. Like, oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna stay here for the song
Exactly.
because it's so catchy.
Stay here for the song, change the channel for the show.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I bought those Crocs in Vegas like 10 years ago.
Oh
So
wow.
It was at like a Burlington coat factory.
So you like Crocs? I take it
Also.
because with 3 that you had,
I do. I enjoy Crocs.
I'd have never put a Croc on my feet.
Neither have I. Like, there was a time I feel as though, what was it? One of the quarterback, Tim Tebow, was caught wearing Crocs, and everybody was mocking him, and he was just like, "I don't care. I like Crocs. They're awesome. Like, you should wear them too." And everybody's just like, "What a weirdo wearing Crocs!" And then suddenly it became a thing.
Yeah, that was before that thing.
Spin the wheel.
All right, now it's time for Spin the Wheel. We're going to spin the wheel, decide who's going to ask which questions. We have 10 categories of questions, and here we go. Brett's up first, and you got what would you have done?
All right. So I have a very interesting situation. So I've been sitting there thinking about, as we are getting ready for Marvel Phase 5 with the Marvels movie, which,
Oh, is that officially the kickoff of 5?
yeah, I believe so. Which I will say either that or I think it's that. I think Guardians 3 was the last of 4, I think. Anyway, I was watching the preview or the trailer because I'd never seen it before. To me personally, does not look like it inspires hope and confidence, at least for me personally. And I was thinking about, Phase 4, also adequately known Phase Bore. Like, if you could go back in time and talk to the people involved at Marvel, at Disney, and give proof, or like you put your pitch, like, already know the train wreck, or at least what I think is a train wreck. What would you do to spice up Phase 4?
Let me find Phase 4.
So Phase 4 starts with
Is it Shang-Chi?
It's
or is it the Black Widow movie?
I would say Spider-Man Far From Home,
Okay.
because that's post Endgame.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
See, the films, it says on
Oh, that's
Wikipedia,
right.
so we're going with Wikipedia here. Black Widow's the first one listed.
Okay.
And then it goes Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home,
Okay.
Doctor Strange, my gosh, Thor, Love and Thunder, and Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Wow. I did not. Putting these in a lump like that, it just makes it seem so much worse than I remember it.
It's like a season of one of your favorite shows that you don't need to watch. You just skip over it.
I would just go, no. No. Rethink it all. Because there's not one of these movies. I mean, I think most people's favorite is Spider-Man No Way Home.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what my favorite is because I didn't really care for it too much. It was a nostalgic trip. That was fun. Thor Love and Thunder was, I thought, decent, better than most people were giving it credit for. I have not seen, of all these, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
You're missing nothing.
I think Doctor Strange. If you're gonna bring the multiverse, bring the multiverse.
Yeah, and I didn't like Scarlet Witch in there
No.
whatsoever. Scarlet Witch has all of a sudden went from a really cool Marvel movie character, like she's cool outside in the comic books, but like movie character, to really just tanking.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I didn't even watch WandaVision, and I was just like, oh, okay. So your whole synopsis is you want to create a world in which your children exist, and you're sad that they don't exist. So you're evil now.
And your husband.
Yeah, and that bleeds. That's two things that she ruins with that same storyline. She ruins Multiverse of Madness, and she ruins WandaVision, because that's the synopsis for her. Well, that's her MO for both of them.
Yeah.
Is her kids.
I would have totally axed the Eternals.
Oh yes.
No need for that at all.
No.
Shang-Chi was okay.
Yeah, that was okay.
I mean, I think that Shang-Chi should have been the Phase 4, intro. And then I think from there, what you could do is you could do a trailer, because I think the struggle for Phase 4 is it never led to a single Avengers movie.
Yeah.
We are currently Avengerless because Tony Stark's dead and Captain America allowed himself to age to death. So
Thor's having kind of just an identity crisis.
Oh, actually, okay, I take that back. You know what they should have done, and I have not seen Thor Love and Thunder. I think they should have done an entire Guardians of the Galaxy as Guardians of the Galaxy adventure. That would have, do that. Let Thor find himself through that adventure, and then you could do Shang-Chi, tie something in to, I would say, even either Captain Marvel or tie it in to Doctor Strange. And again, like you said, if you're going to do a whole multiverse of madness or whatever, you need to go full multiverse. Scrap Eternals, because I've never seen a more boring trailer. Oh, I take that back. The Marvels. And then I probably would have done Thor Love and Thunder, but kind of like changed it just a tad bit to, I don't know. I don't know. I would have changed part of the storyline to Thor Love and Thunder, and then maybe have created some sort of big bad all along the entire way, leading to the Avengers needing to reassemble.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you're saying, and if I understand right, and I'm thinking that it's how they started, was a season finale.
Yeah.
Because I just really quickly, I pulled these up. I pulled up all phases 1 through 4, and just wanted to go through them real quick. So Iron Man was number 1, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America: First Avengers, and then season finale, the Avengers.
Yeah.
Now phase 2, they kind of got away from that just a titch. Iron Man 3. Thor: the Dark World, so off to a bad start there in
Phase 2.
Phase 2. Then one of everybody's favorites, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. 3. Guardians of the Galaxy, once again, those two back to back, really good. Kind of fixes the first two movies. And then Avengers Age of Ultron, which is kind of a step down there, and then ends the phase with Ant-Man, which most people, I think, like Ant-Man. Then phase 3, they start off with Captain America Civil War, which is, probably a very strong offering. And then Doctor Strange, which I mean, I like Doctor Strange, but I think every time I watch it, I realize how good of a movie it is. And then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. That one also, it takes me rewatching it to appreciate it. Did you guys like that one?
Yeah, I didn't. I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
I did.
And then there was Spider-Man Homecoming, which I know you guys liked a lot, right?
Homecoming, no. I like the villain of the Vulture, but the not Mary Jane, but the MJ. She has always bothered me because
Zendaya.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. It's probably not the actress. It's just the script that was written. But it's just like, how can you be like compared to the actual MJ? And this is supposed to be Peter's love interest. She treats him like garbage, and I'm just like, so you like
She's more
this.
of a Gwen, a little bit, because Gwen is a little bit more feisty.
And then Gwen dies.
Then there's Thor Ragnarok, which is the pinnacle of Thor. Then Black Panther. So phase 3 is a really good phase so far, I feel like.
Even Black Panther was pretty good. Like
Black Panther.
the first one.
So Black Panther's next. Avengers Infinity War, which is a great one. Ant-Man and the Wasp. I actually don't remember the storyline.
I feel like Ant-Man and the Wasp was just
that's
kind
the
of,
ghost that's in there.
Yeah, and it was also kind of the start of how they were going to get out of the situation.
That's true. It was
they needed a little like crumb of hope there.
Then Captain Marvel, which was kind of probably one of the bigger letdowns of that.
The tie-in that wasn't necessary.
Yeah. Then Avengers Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home. There's 2 Spider-Mans in phase 3. That's interesting. So yeah, I think phase 3 is obviously great, but then we've talked about Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Coming off of 3, that's a huge
Yeah.
So and sorry to take us on this big tangent with your question.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, I was like, I've never really thought about each of these phases. I would just say, let's just scrap it all. And what are we writing towards? I would say, what is the end goal, the end game, if you will?
Well, and you can almost see that there actually wasn't. And maybe kind of what Disney has been doing is now they're retroactively pushing back dates and releases because it's like, oh, maybe we did quantity and we did not do quality.
Yeah.
Well, I think they knew going into phase 4 it was going to be the multiverse saga, but start with that. Like, start opening up that door. Like, you've only cracked it just a smidge.
And not only
for the
that,
full phase.
Not only that, they need to make it in a way that non-comic book, because this was Marvel brought in a whole demographic of people who were not comic book nerds by any means, and got them interested in superheroes. And so you got to also make them understand the multiverse. And
I think they should have put down some cash and shown a Robert Downey Jr. from another multiverse, somewhere.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a cameo, it probably would have gotten people just stoked about it.
100%.
Yeah. See Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, there you go. All right. I was just curious when Blade was coming out. It looks like it's still
keeps on getting pushed back, and then the director gets fired or replaced, or the writer gets fired or replaced. So Blade is currently a huge mess.
It looks like it's Valentine's Day in 2025.
Mahershala Ali is playing Blade.
Yeah. I don't even know who that is. I think I saw his picture. I recognized him. Okay. So next is me. And I get lick off. Okay. This is more of like a difficult, and scarier thing to do.
Okay.
And you cannot manipulate this with any kind of sedative or anything, but you are going to lick a wild goose's beak.
Oh, wow.
Is the goose okay? So I guess hence wild. So
Yeah.
there's a possibility you can get bit
Yep. And goosed.
and goosed, which means death.
So I will tell you,
You're going to have to chase it and lick it.
one of my favorite stories that I've occurred between myself and my sister is I was at my parents' house one day. She was married. She was living in right across on Kings Row, those apartments. And she sends a panicked text to me, mom, and dad saying, I need help. I'm stuck in my car. Help. And so it was very vague, but the terror was there. And so I grabbed my car, drive over to her place, and she was, I think, being cornered by two angry geese. She hopped out of her car, taking groceries from her car to her apartment, and two geese just decided to attack her.
Oh, wow.
And this terrified her to the point where she ran in, she dropped the car, dropped the groceries or whatever, and ran into her car and just, because they were out there just hissing the entire time.
I remember that apartment. Yeah, because I was that's the only time I've ever been chased by a goose before. I've never been bitten yet.
Which is so funny because as I go for walks, there's geese all over my condo, and they'll sit there and hiss at me, and I'll hiss right back at them.
And I'm like, whoa, what do I do now? This escalated too much.
$100,000.
$90,000.
85,000.
$50,000.
Wow. I'm sitting there, and now I have to go into the mindset that Tim's doing this.
Yeah, Tim always has a bottom dollar that he's willing to go to. He hasn't thought out.
Let's see.
This would be a story to tell.
Yeah.
I chased that and I licked it.
And I stuffed it and put it on the mantle.
I kind of broke its neck when I was doing it, but I did it.
Now it's dinner.
Who wants chicken with orange sauce?
I kind of Lennied it. Come here, goose. I pet it, and
I pet. 30,000.
20,000.
10,000.
9,000.
Ooh. 8,500.
8,000.
6,000.
5,500.
Okay.
my thoughts on this is Criddle's gonna win regardless of what number you say.
I know. I mean, the funny thing is I'm waiting for him. He's like, I'd do it for free.
$30.
$30 and it keeps Mountain Dew. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I've always wanted to kill my own goose.
The more entertaining part would be catching it.
I mean, doesn't it already have to be like pre-caught? Like,
No, you got to catch it.
He said
Oh.
wild.
It's wild.
oh, I thought somebody was like at least
No.
holding its body.
Nope.
Is it like a single, or is it like in a flock of them?
I'll say single.
Okay.
Because I didn't really think of that, but also I want you just to go after the one goose. I don't need it to be complicated.
Stay on target.
So does that change for you, Brett? Like the fact that you have to catch it, you grab it by its neck and go, and then he goes, "What the heck just happened to me?"
I mean, here's my question: can I give it like a little twirl or with its neck? Because then that would be completely snapping its neck, and then I'd be like, "Oh,
Yeah, if you want to.
I feel like I'd lure it in with like some food. Here, come get it.
You just can't use like tranquilizers or anything like that.
Okay.
Or a gun or weapons.
I can use food.
It's your hands and your tongue.
Let's see. 2,500.
2,000?
1,500.
1,000.
900.
800.
Okay, I'm getting to the point where I'm uncomfortable with this.
You giving it to Criddle for 800?
Uh-huh.
Hey.
Is that a good payday for licking a goose?
I mean, do I get to keep the goose?
Yeah, whatever you want. Wild goose.
Cool. $800 and a goose.
And possibly dinner.
And possibly dinner.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, so Tiny Tim, they cooked a goose. It was that kind of goose?
Yeah.
Yeah. And people don't really eat geese anymore, right? I mean, I'm sure they do at fancy restaurants.
I mean, what was it? One time I bought a duck and because I was like, oh, this sounds fun. And like, to me personally, duck tastes like something that I would eat if, if it was mandatory to survive.
So gamey. All right. Next is Criddle. And it looks like you get What If?
What if Batman really existed? Do you think he would last long?
Yeah, that's wow. I've never thought of this before.
Oh, I constantly think about this all the time. I was reading a comic last night where he was on the hunt for a murder and went all the way to San Francisco. I'm like, oh, if he went to modern day San Francisco, could he survive that?
I think Batman could survive. I think just about everything that is in our world today with America. However, like I'm just thinking more of the police and the politics of it all, because the politics, like first of all, which side of the aisle would back him more? Do you think? It'd probably be the Republicans.
Oh
in my
yeah,
opinion,
definitely.
because, yeah, they would be. Man, if he was in Texas, oh man, he'd be hailed.
Oh yeah, that'd be like, oh yeah, thank you, sir.
If anything, why aren't you killing him? Then why aren't you killing them instead of setting them free? Because I have a code. But yeah, and I don't think the cops would ever get him. If he was Batman, who we know and love, I'm pretty confident he could live in our society and do exactly what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say this is the Batman that has that moral code of not killing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think he could do, honestly, if it was Batman, he would only be doing good, and I don't have faith in our cops being able to stop him. I don't have faith in
if he was
anybody really hurting him, because we don't have the big goons that are in the cinematic and comic books.
If he was in Texas, like the cops would be like, "What Batman? I didn't see nothing.
He doesn't exist."
We're still looking for the, what is it called? The Cobra.
Oh, Chupacabra?
Chupacabra, yeah. That's what we're looking for. Yeah. That would be pretty cool. I think he'd be nearly unstoppable.
Well, especially
with
if he
his
had
resources,
the billions that he had, because he could always you think, oh, well, he'd be caught on some sort of camera. He'd be like, oh, I probably have like some sort of like pulse thing that like knocks out everything. So
it'd basically be a shadow.
Yeah. I think Batman would be awesome.
Oh yeah.
In our world today. Now, not feasible because Elon Musk is not going to do this.
No.
So that'd be funny though. But I think it'd be cool. I'd be down with it. I would be like, cops, you're not doing your job. So somebody else stepped up, and he's not murdering people. So
Exactly.
yeah. All right, Brett, you're up next, and you got Would You Rather.
All right. Would you rather eat one meal of wet cat food, or for an entire week have dog treats after breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
What constitutes a meal with cat food?
Like,
Just one tin?
breakfast. Yeah. Yeah. So for breakfast, you have to eat, 1 tin of wet cat food.
It's just one meal.
One meal.
I'll take the one meal. Because I used to work at PetSmart, and apparently people live off of cat food.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's cheaper than like a human food. And so I didn't catch on to this for a while, and nobody told me for a while. And then I just realized it's mainly little old ladies that would do it. And they would pick like one of every flavor. And then occasionally they say, that's a good flavor. And I was like, I didn't compute. And I was like, oh, somebody told me like, yeah, this is when you're poor and you're living off of Social Security and stuff like that, you have to cut costs somewhere, and sometimes people do it with food, and then they eat cat food.
Interesting. So I'm going to turn this over to our resident chef. Like, what would you do?
I mean, there's some good dog food out there. It's only for 1 week.
I didn't say dog food. I said dog treats.
Dog treats.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I could pick the dog.
And there's
treat.
a lot of sugar in a lot of those too. So like
and it's only for 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
I could pick it though. I mean, they're getting fancy with dog treats.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I get to determine how much, like just one biscuit or one.
Yeah, how much do you have to eat of these treats?
I mean, just a dog treat.
Just one, single.
One a day?
Yeah. You're done with breakfast. Time for your dog treat. Okay.
Come here, boy.
You're done with lunch. Time for your dog treat.
Oh, so you have to have like one after every meal.
So it'd be like
for a week.
like a Scooby snack.
Okay. I might lean towards that. 'cause
Zoinks.
I definitely have eaten my fair share of dog treats before.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. There's a reason why I asked this question.
yeah, that sounds way less gross.
I just the idea of licking or eating some moist cat food is
Yeah.
a little off-putting. So I'm gonna go with the dog treats.
Yeah, I'll go dog treats too.
mean,
Take back my answer.
I've heard some people turn wet cat food into like a patty and then cook it like a hamburger.
Ugh,
But
gross.
I would do, especially because you and me and that stupid box of alphabet dog treats that we
Why
ate.
were they alphabet?
Who's exactly
Alphabet for a
idea.
dog?
whoever thought that and then why did my mom put them on the top of the refrigerator where she keeps all of the treats that we're supposed to like not sneak and eat,
Yeah.
which we totally sneak and eat all the time.
Well,
Be sitting on top of the fridge and bread come in. And, oh, eating treats, huh? Yep.
Hey, would you get me one? And it was funny because when me and Jeremy nearly ate the entire box of dog treats.
They were so good.
They were like, I will tell you, they were probably like the third best cookie I think I've ever eaten.
They just spoil dogs these days.
And it was so funny because he goes up to so we're sitting there eating dinner, and me and him are kind of like, trying not to look at the box, but look at the box at the same time. And so my mom goes and grabs the box of dog treats and is like, man, I just barely went to PetSmart and bought this whole thing. Like, it's almost gone. What happened? Like, did you guys give the dog, did you give Sammy the dog treats? Or is it like, what dog treats? And she's like, this dog. And we're looking at this thing of alphabet, like cookies. And we're like, that's not dog treats. Those are people food.
Those are people treats.
My mom's just like, she goes, there's a dog on the box. Like, what do you think it is? It's
There's dogs on lots of boxes.
yeah, it's like, there's a
Chips Ahoy, or no, not Chips Ahoy. What's the cereal?
there's a honey smacks that has a frog, and it's not frog treats.
But what's that one cookie cereal?
Oh, Cookie Crisp.
Yeah, that dog's on it.
Yeah, it has dogs on it. So like, we're not following her logic, and also our logic is it's alphabet. Who teaches an alphabet to a dog?
Here's an A.
Exactly. And so she did not get mad because it was just like, you idiots, you ate dog food.
Yep.
so this was back in the 90s.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah, remember in Scrooged, the movie, like the head boss of the network wanted to have programming for cats and dogs.
Yeah, I remember that.
Alphabet cereal for pets.
All right, I'm up next, and looks like I'm getting Could You Fight It? Okay. Could you fight? I think this is the end of the season 1 in Cobra Kai that they go to the tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could you fight Hawk at the end of season 1?
Oh, heck no. First off, Hawk is awesome. Second, Hawk is like no mercy. Like he would probably beat me to a pulp. No, I could not fight Hawk at the end of season
Even
1.
though you're like much bigger than him at that age?
Yes. Like no, Cobra Kai has 3 rules, and the main one is no mercy.
What are the other 2 rules?
I don't know. I
Strike
forgot.
first, strike hard.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go. What about you, Criddle? Did you take on Hawk?
Okay, well, my question is this in tournament regulations?
No.
Oh, so just street fight.
Street fight.
Okay, I would say like, okay, we're really gonna do this, and then if he punches me, I'm gonna be like, okay, you better stop. And then like, I feel like my Hulk rage would just keep building, and I'd be like, all right, that's it, and I would start running at him.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, okay, the football me's coming out, and I would.
I thought you were going to say that you're going to kick him in the groin.
See, I already have this situation. In fact, this situation was played out in a movie once. So I'd be sitting there possibly at a bar, and I'd be like, hey, let's get some street fight music on, and say, no problem. G7.
You just hit G8.
You just hit G8. And then I'd be thrown through a plate glass window to, do you like pina coladas?
Hey, how come that guy gets a full cue? Can I be on their side? Okay.
Dirty work.
All right, Criddle. Last question for today, and you get random question.
If you could rename any fast food menu item after yourself, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one. Fast food. What fast food do I like?
I would rename the #1 Chick-fil-A sandwich Brett's Choice.
Brett's Choice. I like it. Because that's a good one, and everybody's going to be saying it,
Exactly.
except on Sundays. Maybe they will say it, but like, I want a Brett's Choice. I think it might be something from Taco Bell. Can I just get the drink named after me?
Sure. It's any food menu item.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're just going to rename Baja Blast to Jeremy's Blast or something like that.
Okay.
Because then everybody's going to know my name. Do.
What would you do?
I'd probably do the Big Mac and just like Big T.
Big T.
The Big T, please.
Big T, please.
Really? Nobody would be like, give me the big Timmy.
Timmy.
I'll have one Timmy John's.
I'll have what about a foot long Subway? I'll have a foot long Timmy.
Yeah. We can't call them Jareds anymore.
Nope.
All right. Well, we're trying a new segment today. And it's called Explain the Plot Badly. It's a quiz-like game where I read a short sentence or two about a movie that was poorly written and or broadly explained. Now, your goal is to figure out what each movie is. Some are made up and some are from the interweb.
Ooh.
Okay. #1, guy on drugs wins the war by throwing a frisbee.
Guy on drugs.
Forrest Gump.
No. Guy on drugs.
Oh, wait, no.
Wins the war by throwing a frisbee? This sounds so familiar. Guy on drugs wins a war by throwing a frisbee. Oh my gosh. I'm
thinking of all the war movies
but
I've
is
seen.
it a typical war movie? I can't do it.
Let me read it again.
Okay.
Guy on drugs wins the war by throwing a frisbee.
He's on drugs.
So is it guy on drugs, comma, or is it just all one sentence?
All one sentence.
Guy on drugs.
Who's a guy on drugs? Where was a frisbee ever thrown?
Exactly. I mean, now I'm thinking of Dr. Strangelove and the guy riding the bomb all the way down. But that's not a frisbee. That's a bomb.
If you need a hint, I can give you a hint.
Yes, I need a
Yes,
hint.
I'd like the photofen price.
Okay. I should do that.
Tim, I phone you.
We briefly touched on it at the beginning of the podcast.
Is it
Not wrongfully accused.
no, I'm thinking it is one of the scary movies, the ones that are based off of War of the Worlds. Is it that one?
Nope.
No, that's Swing Away.
Yeah.
It was towards the beginning of the Spin the Wheel.
Let's see. So you ended up with your last merit badge. I'm trying to remember. Your merit badge.
It was Brett's question.
Brett's question. Oh, okay. So it was Marvel related.
Oh, Captain America.
Oh, I get it now. It all comes together.
There you go.
Okay.
Well put, my friend.
All right. Number 2. Cop takes public transportation to catch a criminal.
Is this? There's a Jimmy Fallon, but he's not. Or that Taxi show. It's not it, right?
Oh, the one with what's her face?
Yeah,
Comedian.
Queen Latifah.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Cop takes public transportation.
Speed.
Ooh. That was good because the only thing I was coming up with is taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I thought of that too.
So I actually came up with A, B, C options in case you guys were really struggling. But I just had to start off with just the sentence first. So I had on there A, the commuter, B, speed, C, bullet train.
Okay.
All right, number 3.
Bullet Train. I love that movie.
Number 3. New owners try to evict previous tenants.
New ownership. Evict.
Beetlejuice.
I would have never got that. I was thinking. I'm trying to remember the storyline of that Ben Stiller, Drew Barrymore movie. Do you know? It's called The Duplex?
Duplex?
Never saw it.
Oh, but they're not the previous owners of
Yeah.
that. They're trying to get rid of that old lady.
I think I'm getting into Tim's mind space now.
Okay. Number 4. A trio of cougars are on the hunt for a virgin.
Sorry, say it one more time.
A trio of cougars are on the hunt for a virgin.
So cougars. I mean, I know you're talking about not actual cougars, but what 3 older ladies? A trio of cougars. This sounds really bad to me, but what show involves 3 older women?
I don't know. The 4-Year-Old Virgin.
It's from the 90s.
Oh.
Because Sex and the City has 4.
American Pie only has Stifler's mom.
Yeah. The 90s. Trio. And I mean, if it was the 80s, I definitely would have.
Okay. Is this a movie people actually watched?
There's quite a big fan base for this particular movie, and it's
like a cult,
particularly at this time of year.
Cult classic is what you're saying? Oh, I know what it is. It's Hocus Pocus.
Yep.
Oh.
The time of the year really helped there.
Yep. Okay.
I don't know. I disagree because Sarah Jessica Parker is not in the cougar category.
I mean,
I don't know how old she was when she made that. But she was hundreds of years old.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that.
all right. Number 5. Old man and young boy set out on an adventure, but run into trouble with relatives and other kids.
Say it one more time.
Old man and young boy set out on an adventure, but run into trouble with relatives and other kids.
Man, this usually have an idea of what movie this could be. This one I have like the least bit of idea.
Okay, what time period was
80s.
this? 80s?
Old man.
Old man and young boy.
I mean, so this isn't like Uncle Buck. It's not.
No,
Um,
not Midnight Train or Midnight Run.
You both
which
have
is,
seen this movie.
Um,
I would say quite a bit, probably.
Old man and young boy go on a trip.
say it one more time.
Old man and young boy set out on an adventure, but run into trouble with relatives and kids.
Are the kids are just generic kids, right? Like just kids. They're not relatives also.
No,
Okay.
they're like high school students.
Okay.
You both have seen this movie.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, waiting to say, no, I have not seen this movie,
The
sir.
thing is, though, is
I guarantee it.
your word crafting of things. Like I was like, is this Star Wars or something? Because like, if your way to like misdirect with your words, with Hocus Pocus, for example.
This is the 80s. I'll give you another hint. It was a trilogy.
Oh,
So it is Star Wars.
No,
no.
Oh,
Wait a minute. So
it was a trilogy.
with family, it's not.
oh, Indiana Jones and
That's-
the Crystal Skull.
No, that
No.
was in 2000s.
Okay.
That was.
I
But
know.
number 3 though is. But there's no family of theirs
No.
besides Sean Connery and Harrison Ford being related. It's a trilogy for the 80s.
I can give you a year.
Okay.
1985.
Oh, I got it. Back to the Future.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Why can't I hate your wordsmith there?
Explain the plot badly.
Yep.
Okay, last one. A girl meets the man of her dreams.
That's it?
That's it.
So I'm taking it that you mean like literally. And you're not talking
A
about
Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking of that. Because I was like, this is Crindle's trend right now. So that's it.
There you go. That's it.
Well done. Did you come up with these with no help?
I came up with the Back to the Future one, and the rest were from the interwebs.
Interwebs.
interesting.
Wow.
Let's see. Let me see if I could do Friday the 13th. Bad camp counselors meet an elderly lady.
Man, you guys are good at this. I attempted a segment like this, but I didn't have it in me to do it.
Oh, man. You know, the funny thing about that is I was getting ready to watch the original Nightmare on Elm Street, and I decided to start watching the original Halloween that I'd never seen before. I don't know what people think seeing that movie. I'm not...
But it might, if anything, be good because of the time period it came out.
It could be. And the neat thing is, you know, they totally remastered it. Like, even though like everything is dated, it looks like it was shot like yesterday.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it was cool, but I don't see the wowness of the movie.
All right. We are continuing and finishing off our March Madness of most rewatchable TV series. So I feel like I know where this is going to start, but we have been, just so you know, if you listen to our previous episodes, we have been whittling down with 64 TV shows and getting it down to where we can pick a number one. Right now we're in the, what is it, Sweet 16? Let's see. No, it's 8. What is that one called?
The Elite Eight.
The Elite 8, yeah. So we're in the Elite 8 right now. And also, in case you decided to skip those other ones, this is obviously the shows that we've actually watched. We haven't watched every single show, and there's some shows that we haven't seen of each other's, but at least all these shows, 2 of us have seen at one point. So, and this is how we've derived where we got so far. So right now, it is Seinfeld versus Supernatural. I have an idea how this is going to shake out. I am pro Supernatural. And I will let you guys. I just am not a Seinfeld guy. Like, I enjoyed it in the 90s, but it was just. I left it in the 90s and I haven't watched it since.
You know what's interesting is the other day, Jerry Seinfeld was doing a stand-up routine, and he had teased the idea that there might be a possible reunion.
That'd be
cool.
awesome. That would be super awesome.
Because they're all still working. Well, except for Kramer, really.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Seinfeld because to this day, every Halloween, our librarian will do and play for the Jerry Seinfeld Halloween masks stand-up routine. And at first it started off as just merely she found the audio, she would play it on, a cassette because she actually owned it on cassette. Wow. And then he wrote a book that illustrated it. And now they've taken the book and they've kind of somewhat animated it a little bit and uploaded on YouTube. And so whenever I'm like walking around my school around October, she is playing the Seinfeld Halloween stand-up routine, and it's just like, yes, indoctrinate the next generation into Seinfeld. I think both series are rewatchable for both different reasons. Minus the Leviathan season, but I just feel as though, again, we've said it a whole bunch of times, comedy just lends itself to more rewatchability.
Oh yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I don't want to drag it out and give false hope.
All right, fine. Bye, Supernatural. Love you.
Actually, I should probably insert like the whole like thing like catching fire
Yeah,
as it starts at the very beginning.
All right, Stranger Things versus Alice in Borderland. Uh-oh. This is much more difficult than the previous one. This would be a game I would watch because it's pretty close, and I don't know the outcome right now. But Alice in Borderland, great show. I was actually recommending it to one of my brother-in-laws and the other day, and I was like, you should probably give this a chance. First season, second season, great. The only time I think we talked about was the house was a little bit boring.
Yeah.
Stranger Things, they have 4 seasons, right?
4 currently. Yep.
Yep. And I think they're all great. There are just some slow parts. There's one bad episode out of them all.
One bad episode, and I think I've said it before. I think the 4th season of Stranger Things is too long.
No. It is great. It is wonderful. It is the best season yet.
I think, what is it? Is there like 7 total episodes of Stranger Things in season 4, I want to say? I can't remember, but I will actually look it up right now just so that I can be accurate.
I wonder why they decided to do like
there's 9
hour-and-a-half segments versus just like 45-minute segments.
So, I mean, here's my biggest, most of them are about 1 hour, 15 minutes or so in length. And then, chapter 9 is 2 hours, 19 minutes. And I think for me personally, the 9-episode 4th season is just too long. Simmer it down. I think things could have gotten a little bit faster. Maybe have done maybe 7 episodes and not at 2-hour length time periods or whatever. I enjoyed it, but if we're gonna go to rewatchability, like I actually have not watched or rewatched any of Stranger Things, and I have massively rewatched Alice in Borderland, so that's where my vote is gonna go.
So every year when Stranger Things came out, before it came out, I used to watch all the other seasons prior. Leading up to it. So when 2 came out, I watched 1. When 3 came out, I watched 1 and 2 again. So definitely did that. Also, I was looking. So it looks like the seasons are, season 1 has 8 episodes. Season 2 has 8 episodes. Season 2 has 9 episodes. Season 3 goes back to 8. And then season 4 is 9. So it's every other year is 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't see any problem with it. But yeah, the length of them are like each episode is a little bit longer. But man, I was digging season 4 big time, so I have no complaints there. But I
think the worst season is season 2. Like, I
would agree.
I did not care for the whole 11 side trip with meeting another number.
Yeah,
and
that
just-
was the worst episode in the whole
I
franchise.
was so bored with that. And maybe if I went and rewatched it again, it might be better. But
It's not.
okay.
Well,
I tried to rewatch that episode. I'm like, maybe I missed something. No, it's just boring.
It is boring.
Well, also, like, it didn't add much value to the whole season. It was just a wasted space.
No, yeah, I think honestly they probably could have taken out season 2 altogether
Yeah.
and just done season 1, 3, 4.
Well, I think the only thing that came out of season 2 was the connection between him still existed with the Upside Down.
And I actually think that the mind flare, it gave, you thought that was the big bad. And I like that the season 4 basically was just like, oh, actually, it's not. That is one of the things that is being manipulated by
By
big bad.
one.
Uh-huh.
But then going back to Alice in Borderland, those games are so fun. I need to go back and watch season 1 again because the first game was great. That got me really intrigued into the show.
Very shocking too. Like the first game, like oh.
The first game is shocking, then Tag
Oh no,
is
Tag.
shocking.
Sorry, Tag was
Which
brutal.
is Tag 2 is the second game.
Because the first game was they had to pick the room to go in, right?
Yeah.
The second one was
The first one I was like, we're watching Cube.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, the second one was where the wolf and
Yeah.
that was
was it Tag? Because then the next game was Hide and Seek,
yeah.
which was the most devastating
That
game.
was a devastating episode. But 2, yes, the second game was probably my favorite game.
Oh yeah.
I didn't expect them to do that in that.
I didn't either.
I was like, what?
Yeah. But then after that in season 1, the games took less of a priority in the show. That was a little
because they were kind of establishing the community
Yeah.
and the other people that were there. But then, of course, you get introduced to, I think, the best character ever, which I cannot pronounce his name correctly. But
Oh yes. Are you talking about the white-haired dude?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's like the best character ever.
He is. He is one of my favorite characters, which that's why I really love in the second season, Jack of Hearts, I think it is. Is that the one where they're in the prison or whatever?
Yeah.
And did in season 2, did they just kind of retcon the whole my time is running out, I need to go play a game or I die?
They didn't. They discussed it every once in a while, very briefly,
Okay.
because they did talk about it, especially when they were trying to uncover the past.
Well, what
That recording.
What changed it though was the necessity of it was after his friends died, like the community were just like, this is the thing. Here's what we do. We go here. We'll group up together, and you'll go play a game, and you'll go with these people. Like these people are your safe people. You use not these people to get through the game, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So it was almost like the strategy had completely changed because of the lack of connections that he had.
I think that'd be hard for a strategy. Like, okay, you go with this group of people, they'll take care of you, you'll get through it, and then it's a heart, and you're like, oh shoot, these people are gonna kill me now.
Uh-huh.
Do you think the show would work better if they just made an American adaptation of it instead of just translating it?
I could
see it being maybe more violent.
I could see if, well, the problem with America sometimes, and I'm surprised that this is tied to America, is, well, maybe this is just AMC that I'm thinking about. We dramatize too much. So,
Well, I think in all honesty, because I was listening to a podcast about Alice in Borderland, and
The Utterly Useless podcast.
and one of the things that they were talking about is like, because that question got brought up, like, what if it was done in America? And, the annoying thing would be that they would be constantly talking about this relationship, that relationship, or whatever. And they said, did you realize that there is a character in the house that also came into season 2 that was a transgender character? And I'm like, I didn't even think about that.
oh, I noticed that.
And I didn't pick up on it because it wasn't overhanded.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
true.
yeah, that's
And I
right.
feel as though that would be something that would be overhanded if done in America.
I had to look because I was like, is this person really transgender? Because I was like, if they did, man, bravo, because you look like a girl. No, she was a girl in real life. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. It's time to vote.
I'm going Alice in Borderland.
I don't know where I'm going.
I'm going Stranger Things.
Ooh.
I kind of feel, I was like, I'm just going to wait this out because I know Criddle's going to.
The reason I say that is I know season 2 was the lull of the whole series, but like you've said, I really enjoyed season 4, and just the way season 3 ended, and then building up to what season 4 was going to be, and now I'm really amped up and excited for season 5, the final season. So, I mean, I'm a little nervous for like how long the episodes are going to be, but at the same time, I'm just like, I love the characters coming back to them, the Dustin and Steve and just Eleven and all the characters, Hopper, and I think it's all great. I think it was totally like an original idea. Just like the way it is. But I mean,
it was like did you see the movie Super 8? It was like that, except done better.
It was. It really was.
yeah.
This might be because, so I was at the dentist last week and they always have a TV in front of, like, hanging above your head while you're getting your teeth cleaned and all that.
Oh, that's fun.
I know. I have a massage chair too, but they don't always ask if I want to turn on, and I don't really care, honestly, because all it does is vibrate. So it's like,
No.
And if you have to go get like cavity drilled, they put headphones on so you can listen to it too. But otherwise, I'm just watching it with subtitles. But they turned on Stranger Things, and it was season 2, and I was like, I like this. So I'm going Stranger Things. Sorry, Brett.
Yeah, you know what? I already know that that's where it was going to go, because just as you broke down like how you watch it, that is how most people watch Stranger Things. And I just don't find it rewatchable to the point of doing it. But I know I'm in the minority there.
Oh, okay. But I mean, I still love Alice in Borderland.
Oh, and I still attest that it is better than Squid Game.
Oh,
absolutely.
100%.
Hand down.
I mean, Squid Game did have a couple of games that I enjoyed. I definitely did enjoy them, but it's like, but Alice in Borderland is Squid Games on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, all right, other side of the bracket here is still in the Elite 8. We are doing Cheers versus Psych. This is interesting because both comedies, both pretty like popular shows for their time.
Yeah.
And they continue on to be popular.
I am going to pitch my vote for Psych. I love it. I love I have Sean, Gus, Henry. I find their characters compelling and fun and very rewatchable. And I just love that I feel like they take the silly as they go and just kind of embrace it. And I love that.
I'm going to put my vote for Cheers. And the reason for that is because for me, Psych is a little bit of a rinse, wash, and repeat, a little bit.
Yeah.
And Cheers, you could argue is the same thing, but when I watch it, I don't see the repetitiveness of it, the story. I mean, they're all at a bar. The stories continue, but I think there's enough difference, and there's a lot of characters in there that bring a lot of uniqueness to it. I love Woody Harrelson's character so much. Coach's character. Ted Danson is funny. I could argue, I never thought about it until now, but I could argue that fits into my mold of he's a less entertaining character than all the other characters around him.
But he's the constant, though.
Yeah, he's the constant.
The Eric Foreman.
Yeah, exactly. The Eric Foreman. So, I will say that both female leads take some time to appreciate.
Oh, definitely.
Because when you first start, you're like, oh, it's dumb. And they're like, oh, you're funny. I like you now. Yet, and each time I rewatch the Cheers, I have to still warm into them because I don't like them initially.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, man, but Psych, I love that again, the silliness factor and all the spoofs that they do. And then it also becomes really meta too when they actually have someone from the spoof in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
So great. And I mean, I think there is some variance. I think as the seasons go, it does tend to drop. But then, I mean, now they're coming out with the movies, which are kind of fun to revisit every now and then.
I think the third movie's the best so far.
And I like that they're not just popping them out every year. They like take their time They make sure it's right, and then they produce it.
Yeah, I need to watch number 3.
Also, interesting fact that I heard the other day is they're getting ready to do a Monk movie. And that they've approached the Psych people to do a Monk Psych crossover at one point.
That'd
in
be
time.
interesting because Monk is an odd individual, and Sean and him would have an interesting relation there.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I would watch.
yeah. I've never watched Monk religiously. I've watched an episode here or there.
Same.
I've enjoyed Monk. So for me, Cheers is just a classic TV series. It is, it was what it took over from where MASH left off. Then Cheers propelled Seinfeld. Seinfeld propelled Friends, and Friends propelled Two Guys in a Pizza.
Wow.
But
There was kind of oh no. Was there a gap between when did Friends end? It was like 2004,
2002, 3, 4.
somewhere on there.
Mhm.
There was a little bit of a gap there, Big Bang Theory and How I Met Your Mother before they started, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
there's
yeah.
a little bit of a gap.
That's kind of interesting. I feel like those were the two that took over after.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Cheers is just a classic show. Like you said, Tim, like Psych is so spoofy and whatnot. And because of the pure quoteness of it all, I have to go with Psych because I love the quotes. I love how you said it spoofs. I love how, I love 80s references and 90s references, and that's what Psych did constantly.
It's true. I did enjoy Psych a lot during the era. I need to go back and probably give it another go because I definitely haven't rewatched it. I've just watched it once through.
They've pushed the boundaries with that show. Where with the spoofs, they did a musical episode. They've done movies. They're hitting all the check boxes.
I've never seen the musical episode.
I don't think I have either.
Whenever there's a musical episode of something, I'm like, skip. I heard the new Star Trek series in season 2, there's a musical episode. I'm like, skip.
Why?
I've heard that in the up and coming new series for Doctor Who, there's going to be a musical episode. It's already pre-skipped.
Who are they doing this for?
I don't. It's a thing that has caught on because it started off with Riverdale. Riverdale did one musical episode and it just exploded.
Whoa.
And so then they did it again and it exploded again. And that's around the same time that The Flash and Supergirl had a crossover musical.
But Scrubs did it too when it was airing.
Yeah, there's a lot of shows that have done
And Simpsons.
musical episodes. Yeah, Family Guy. What's his
Family
name?
Guy.
What's his name? Family Guy is notorious for loving musicals and therefore making them.
Seth MacFarlane.
That's him.
But yeah, it's one of those things that, at least for Riverdale, there's always one musical a year because that is like the highest
too much.
watched episode.
That's their Halloween episode.
Yeah.
All right, next one to finish off the Elite Eight was White Collar versus Big Bang Theory. I have no delusions about this one.
Ooh, interesting.
I mean, I want to say mine because I have a feeling how this is going to shake out. White Collar is fantastic. I could watch it. It is funny. It is witty. I mean, it is. I guess I don't know if witty is the right word for it. It's just kind of like, I don't know. There's a fun level to the intelligence. Their con artistness, whatever it is, of how they get around doing things. I like that. And Big Bang Theory, though, that is just 100% comedy gold, funny, laughing all the time, very relatable for me as a fellow, like not to their level nerdum, but I am a nerd or geek or whatever you want to call it. And so I do relate to them. I am less relatable to White Collar because I'm not as suave and as not a con artist like Nick Caffrey is.
Is White Collar a USA show?
Yeah.
So it kind of was in that genre, that era of like Monk and Psych and
Where they
White
just
Collar
dumped
and
it all.
Suits. Yeah, just
They're
all of
like,
them.
we're going to change the way we do business here on USA.
And then they're
all
like,
these shows
wait,
just got witty.
Wait, that's so funny. Like they did that, and then people stopped watching it.
I definitely.
And then they did that to Psych, and people started stopped watching it. And now, like, who knows what's on Psych or on USA now?
I have no idea, because then Suits, they tried to make Suits a little TVMA-ish, which is weird that they did that. And I was like, it actually I disliked it as it got more TVMA. I'm like, no, we don't need to do this. But I think I'm going to surprise myself here. And I think I got to realize this is the most rewatchable, not the one I like the most. And I think Big Bang Theory is more rewatchable. It's a 30-minute show versus a 45-minute show, or 22-minute show, whatever, versus a 45-minute show that I can watch anytime, anywhere, and be entertained by it. Where White Collar is a little bit more, takes more time to watch it. It is just a titch less rewatchable because not every episode is a standalone episode.
Yeah.
So I'm surprising myself and going Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, I think that's the right choice, is the Big Bang Theory.
I've never seen White Collar.
I kind of figured.
I was waiting for you to say I've never seen White Collar, so I'm going with White Collar.
So this is the first. Is this the first knockout?
First sweep.
Sweep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're gonna go back to the other side of the bracket real quick here and finish that out. So we have Seinfeld versus Stranger Things.
What's the deal with Stranger Things? Is it strange? Is it things?
Oh, yeah.
I don't feel like I need to repeat myself a lot. I'm going with Stranger Things. I just don't. Seinfeld, I left it in the 90s.
This is okay. It's not as easy a decision for me because I really do like both of these shows.
Mm-hmm.
Stranger Things just has that horror element, which is really cool because like there's not a lot of horror shows out there that draw a big crowd in.
Yeah.
And it is actually rewatchable.
And especially you saying the word show, because movies, yeah, there are some like in the 80s and 90s that I think that was like the horror era.
They're like cult classics
Yeah.
in the 80s and 90s, whereas this to me was like a global phenomenon. Like
Yeah.
it just kind of came out of nowhere and captured audiences,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't like overly frighten them. It just more like thrilled
It was
them.
intense. It was thrilling.
Yeah. And so that's what's really compelling about it. And it just, there's something about it that just brings you back.
And the question is, why is a thriller / horror show making it this far in the most rewatchable? Is it us?
No, I think it's the content. I think it's the characters in there. I think it's the stories.
Yeah.
I think it's also the era in which it's set.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what is it? Whenever you watch like a horror movie, nowadays, I think technology has like overridden society to where you're just like, well, where's your phone? Like,
Yeah.
why do you not have your phone? Just call.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the Stranger Things was in the 80s where that wasn't a thing.
Well, and now like the next season, they might dabble into the 90s. And
Yeah.
Or did they dabble in the 90s in the last season?
I don't think they did.
I don't
yet.
think they did. I think
The kids are getting old.
Well,
so
I mean, they dabble. Well, I mean, they're doing movie rentals, so that's more late 80s.
yeah, that's about 88, 89.
they dressed up as Ghostbusters in season 2, which is like 84.
No,
No,
at
that's
least.
older.
Really?
I mean, not older. That's more recent than
Yeah.
84. Yeah. So I think it's late 80s.
So it's got to be late 80s, early 90s.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we might be venturing into some like
Yeah.
different era of Stranger Things.
Or if you're like the Goldbergs, you've been like 11 seasons and yet you're still in the 80s somehow.
yeah. Well, and it's going to be interesting because I've heard the spinoff is going to be a prequel to the 11 situation.
Okay.
Interesting.
I'm going to go with Seinfeld because of what you specifically said is they're shorter. And I'm one of those people that I want, if I'm going to be watching something rewatchable, I want something quick and easy. And if I have to watch the second episode, it's not mandatory. Whereas Stranger Things would be like, all right, guess I'm pulling up an all-nighter.
Yeah, that's true.
That makes sense.
Gretel, it's on you.
I love them both. Come with me both.
choose both of
Which
you.
one's more rewatchable to you?
What do you choose?
So Seinfeld definitely.
They quoted that in Halloween episode, the Simpsons Halloween last season.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, they did so many 90s, what's his name's quotes.
Tugged on your strings.
Yes.
I will have to watch last year's Halloween.
You can skip
episode.
the first one if you want.
Okay.
But the second and third one are worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is good. It was actually really good.
Yep.
I'm going Seinfeld.
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yep. Seinfeld would have, for me, died back in when it started. Versus Ted Lasso. It wouldn't versus Ted Lasso in the first round. It would have died for me back then. All right, here. So, and we'll finish this off. Psych versus Big Bang Theory. That is also a good one. Not gonna lie though, Big Bang Theory is just, if we talked about what was it? Squid Games so Alice in Borderland is Squid Games on steroids. I think Big Bang Theory is Psych on steroids in a comedy way. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I already know where he's going to vote, so I'm just going to go Psych.
Which way? I don't know which way girls go.
I know. I've been paying attention to his unabashed love of Big Bang Theory, so I'm just going to put in Psych
He
again.
loves both.
I know he loves both,
do love both.
but he waxes poetic from time to time about Big Bang Theory. So,
Is it Sean or Leonard? Is it Gus or is it Sheldon?
Man, I really like.
is it Lassiter or is it Penny?
It's funny because both of these shows, the earlier seasons are the best.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And then as it
definitely.
goes on, this it's just not
Yeah.
as good.
You know what? It's like, oh, your character's growing. I don't like you.
Yeah.
Just stay the same and consistent. Like,
I also find the character of Amy really annoying.
Yeah, Amy Farrah Fowler.
Yeah, kind of annoying. And she like has like this huge flip switch of a character, like the way she starts and the way she ends. Like whereas a lot of all the other characters are kind of constant,
Yeah.
except Raj. I guess Raj changes a little bit too.
Yeah, I don't like how Raj and I appreciate how they tried to keep Raj and Wolowitz like relationship going
Like,
over time.
I wonder if they had stuck with Raj's whole "can't talk to women" thing for the entire series, if that would have changed anything.
Yeah, I wonder. That would be interesting. Or would we have grown tired of that? I think it'd have been funny. They should have let it last longer that he had to drink alcohol
Yeah.
to talk.
I think that should have lasted.
Yeah, they should have played that a lot longer.
Because that was just a unique quirk to the show.
Yeah.
That was Raj, and it kind of differentiated him from the others. Psych though is so rewatchable, and I love the references to the 80s and 90s, and just the movie references in general. Like I feel like that's like us, just quoting old nostalgia all the time.
Also interesting here, the numbers. So 89, if I remember right, the first number is the critics and the second number is the watchers number. So Psych got an 89 for critics, 93 for viewers, and Big Bang Theory surprisingly got 81 for critics and 83 for watchers. Kind of surprised by those numbers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Big Bang Theory.
Well, Brett, you're right. All right. Well, I think a lot of people may not have agreed with how we got here, but I think a lot of people would agree that these two are pretty great shows. Big Bang Theory versus Seinfeld. Both 20-minute comedies.
Give or take.
Both, there's not a lot of episodes where they continue on into the second episode. More so in Big Bang Theory than there is for Seinfeld. I flat out going Big Bang Theory. Have stated my opinion right before this.
So who would you say is the most annoying character in Big Bang Theory?
It might be Amy, but it also... I don't really know.
Because I'm also trying to figure out who's the most annoying character in Seinfeld.
Most annoying Seinfeld character for me.
The one character that says, "Man, it makes me not want to watch."
Well,
the show.
see, and here's the interesting thing about that, because I like how you're approaching, because, with The Simpsons, if it was Seinfeld versus
It's
Simpsons,
Lisa.
we'd be like, oh, well, the Lisa episodes. It's just
Yes.
like, I'm sitting there thinking, the Kramer episodes are fantastic. The George episodes are fantastic. Like, and then the world just revolves around Jerry. Like, all of these things are happening in his world. And then the Elaine episodes are just like, especially when you get to Mr. Peterman. Like,
Oh yeah, I forgot about Mr. Peterman.
I love the Mr. Peterman character. And then I love when George gets hired by the Yankees and this George Steinbrenner character. Like, it's all, and then Kramer is just, I think every so often, like, to me, the only annoying characters are Kramer's side friends from time to time.
Yeah. Also, I don't really know how much I appreciate Jerry's parents.
Oh, yeah.
Like their episodes are meh.
So I would probably say then Jerry's the most annoying character,
I would agree.
because the stuff that happens to George and Kramer and Elaine are just
Are far superior.
hysterical.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Jerry is probably the more boring character, or the least
The Eric
enjoyable. Yeah, he is Eric Foreman. With Big Bang Theory, I mean, it's a side character. I don't think Leonard is an Eric Foreman. I don't think Sheldon is definitely an Eric Foreman. And then Wolowitz and Raj, I think, were comedy gold in the first couple seasons.
The duo.
And then they kind of got chipped away at and taken apart.
I think for me personally, there's moments of Penny episodes that I don't particularly care for.
Yeah, I can see that. I also think, just like How I Met Your Mother, there are girlfriend episodes of like Leonard's girlfriends
Penny's like the
and Raj's girlfriend.
Penny's like the Joey of Friends.
I don't know what that means.
like they're both actors
Yeah,
who want to make it big, and but all they do
they're all
is
dumb.
they're dumb, and they just score all day.
Yeah, and somehow they're staying afloat, and
And
it doesn't make sense.
And somehow they can afford an apartment in New York and California without making money.
Yeah, and she has her own apartment where he at least is sharing.
Yeah,
an
he had a
apartment.
roommate.
Just being pretty in the Cheesecake Factory. I mean, that's...
Like, it's weird, yeah, because like in Big Bang, it's like, oh, it takes Leonard and Sheldon to live in that apartment, whereas Penny's just, oh, I'm a Cheesecake Factory waitress and I can afford this. And her apartment's nicer too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my least favorite episodes and the weaker points of it is based off of girlfriends or boyfriends. If Penny, yeah, there's some boyfriends.
Yeah, there's that one guy who's kind of an idiot that every so often comes through with a good line or something like that.
Well, I'm going Seinfeld.
Yep. So am I.
Wow, wow, wow. Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom. All right. Well, fine. I'll give it to you. I know, because I know most of this world would probably give it to you as well. That Seinfeld is the most rewatchable. But
I think Big Bang had a better season finale. Series finale.
Oh, Seinfeld's last two episodes were awful.
Don't worry. Whenever the Simpsons final episode happens,
Yeah.
Then we'll talk.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's not even fair because their last like 20 seasons have been awful.
Maybe they'll have some redeeming thing where they'll have archive footage of.
Actually, here's what they're going to do. Nobody's going to know that they're not going to be a new season, and they're going to end with they're going to do a George. They're just going to go out on top. They're going to end the last episode, and then they're just going to be like, oh, by the way, that was the last episode. And everybody's like, what? We want more.
It'll be like, oh, this is the last episode. Featuring Troy McClure.
Hi, I'm Troy McClure.
Wait, you have some unused Phil Hartman? Yes.
No, we just deep fake him.
That'd bring me back.
Yeah, let's deep fake people to bring them back and just pay their families.
The whole Simpson show was just a Troy McClure episode.
Oh, there's something that happens in the Halloween episode I want to tell you. that I remembered exactly when I died laughing, but I can't tell you because then it would take away
All right.
his humor. But
I will have it watched by next week.
all right, let's give Elise a moment to appreciate Seinfeld, the winner, the most rewatchable TV show.
Yes.
Yay!
All right, now the moment of silence is over. Let's move on to our recommendation. Brett, what do you got for us as far as recommendation goes?
So I keep on just watching more horror movies because it tis the season to watch scary movies.
So it's not the season to be jolly.
No.
Is it the season to be scared?
Yes.
And it doesn't have the same ring.
And I struggle at being my favorite most recent horror movie that has terrified me is probably I sent that to you maybe 8 years ago, and that was Lights Out.
That's a good movie.
I want to be scared by something, and I'm sitting there just watching these movies, and it's
You know what I should do?
what?
I should lend you my Oculus Quest because I purchased a couple weeks back a Exorcist game.
Ooh, oh, I don't know if I want to do that because the Exorcist movie I watched in 3 to 4 different segments during the middle of the day with all the lights on, and it terrified me because of the content that it goes into.
So yeah, I don't know what, I think this is a standalone, it does nothing to do with any of the movies, at least that I'm aware of, because I don't know if I'm all caught up on all of the Exorcist
The
movies.
second one sucks. So don't even. In fact,
Well, I mean, all the new reboot
Yeah.
stuff,
Oh, yeah.
the Emily Rose and all that stuff. But I went into it this isn't scary, it's scary, but I've noticed that I'm not wanting to go back to it either. Because you hear things and you see things move in the corner of your eye, so it's you're in a horror film, and you're that person that's going, did I see something?
That'd be cool if they had an Oculus Quest of Dungeons and Dragons, and you can pair up with other people.
That would be cool.
I mean, I will tell you, I accidentally ran into a horror movie that I actually had the idea for the same horror movie way back in 2007. And it was one of those things I'm I like this idea. I want to write. And then because it was based in actual physics, and because I was going to college at the time, and I was yes, I want to write this horror movie. This is going to be fantastic. It's going to destroy people's brains and stuff like that. And I forgot, I couldn't figure out my theory behind the whole thing. Well, fast forward to 2019 or 18, there is a movie called I Still See You. It is set 10 years after a apocalyptic event that kills millions of people, and the world is re-inhabited by ghosts, and ghosts just appear places, and sometimes they reenact their last moments. Sometimes they reenact moments that they're happy about, and then there is situations where you're is this ghost actually committing murder? And that is the thing that was really intriguing to me. So it was a good story, but again, it was my idea for a movie in 2007. However, I would have gone to the very horror aspect. They went into the more paranormal, questioning afterlife type of thing. And I'm it could have been better. So
Interesting.
yeah.
I just need to get that app on my Apple TV, and you sent me the login, so I need to check out, because I think you even sent me a recommendation. All right, my recommendation, I watched this movie partly on the plane, and I love this movie. When I was traveling this week, I love the movie The Warrior. I just love it. I know you haven't seen it yet, Brett. It is a great movie. Have you seen it, Criddle?
Warrior?
Yeah.
With the two fighters?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, I love that movie. And so I watched half of it, and then I got off the plane, and then I got home. I'm I have to finish it. Nick Nolte, Tom Hardy, and Edgerton, I think is his name. I'm trying to remember.
Joel Edgerton. I don't know.
I think that's his name. Great movie. Great movie.
Uncle Owen. Okay, well, my recommendation is it's Halloween season, so I was trying to think of a scary movie or just something that makes you feel uncomfortable, and so I thought of 1408.
Yeah.
That the word uncomfortable is very accurate.
I mean, I think it's a real trip ride, but I think it's good for the holidays for this Halloween season.
Yeah, one of the few John Cusack movies I enjoy.
Yeah.
Probably really trippy on like a big screen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I went and watched it in a movie theater. I had my hands covered and like I was constantly kind of like moving my finger.
And it's not probably because you're scared. You need a break.
Yes.
From how intense it is.
Can we pause it, please?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not intense like, if you haven't seen it, it's not intense like a horror film like slasher, like people are dying. It's intense just because it's a lot. It's just...
And I remember exactly where I was doing that. It was just before they did the lull of him picking up his mail at in the post office. Like it was leading all the way up to that. And I was like,
so you knew.
I'm like, I can't take this. I can't.
Yeah.
No.
It's one of the few John Cusack movies I actually handle.
Yeah, because I don't like John Cusack. I don't like his sister either.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cusacks. I just don't enjoy you.
Yeah. I've been told that, some of the comedies from the 80s featuring John Cusack is great. I don't think I've seen them.
I think I've seen a couple.
I know that he's holding a radio in one of them.
A boombox,
Yeah, but I know the reference, but I just don't know the movie.
He just always has the same face. Always same face. He has resting John Cusack face.
Oh,
I don't like your face.
I will say, put a plug in for a funny, quirky John Cusack movie, and I think his sister's in it also, and that is Grosse Point. I think it's called Grosse Point Blank, where he is a assassin, and he is invited to like his 10-year class reunion. He's like, 10-year, 15-year class reunion. He's like, I'm not going to that. And then he gets a hit for somebody at his reunion.
That's funny. I've never seen the movie. I know of the movie. I've just never seen it. I'm still digging myself out of a hole in the 80s of all the movies I haven't seen.
So yeah, I'd put a plug in for that. That's quirky, funny. I think also Dan Aykroyd's in it too, if memory serves me right.
Usually in the 80s was a benefit to most movies. In the 90s, in the 2000s, he's not been as much.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for today. See you.